What's going on YouTube? This is Brian916. Thanks for tuning in. As always, welcome back to the channel. So many of you guys know I diagnosed a Nissan 2.5 having a blown head gasket or a warped or cracked cylinder head. If you haven't seen that video, I'll put a link in the description so you can kind of get caught up on what's going on with this Nissan. After we diagnosed it, I passed it on to my coworker Des, an auto tech, who swapped the motor on it and did a fantastic job on it. We decided to go with a low mileage unit versus doing a head job on it because I've done 2 head jobs on these 2.5 Nissans of this year, and one of them came back, the other one didn't. Okay, so one of them came back probably like a year later. He called me and he said, "Hey Brian, you know, it's hard starting in the morning." So I know these Nissans also have crank sensor issues. So I had them bring it in. So I, checked it for codes, didn't get any codes out of it. And so immediately I went to Ohms test the crank sensor and test the crank sensor circuit. All that stuff checked out fine according to all data. So I moved on and continued, further diagnosis on it, and realized that the hard starting is a mechanical problem and not, electric or electronic problem. So from that point, I checked for vacuum leaks, and which led me to compression testing it, which led me to pressure testing the cooling system. And I stuck my camera down in the cylinder and was able to see a little bit of water getting in. So after talking to other mechanics and doing some research online, I found out that I wasn't the only one. A lot of people have this problem. A lot of independent shops won't touch them. A lot of mechanics post information on a website on how they've ran across the same issue. So I was leery when I got this vehicle about even doing a head job on it. I figured, you know what, I'm gonna avoid myself. I'm gonna avoid that trouble for myself. I'm just gonna find a good low mileage unit, and put it in there, and we should be good to go. Because from my experience, the head jobs that I've done on them have always been higher mileage engines. So I figured if I get a lower mileage unit, she might be able to drive it till it reached that higher mileage before she encountered this head gasket problem that can be fixed. Anyway, that didn't happen. This thing's back at the shop, but let me show you why it sucks so bad. So we bought this, the company we bought it from, I don't want to say no names. I don't want to put them out there like that, but you can see there's no labor warranty on this. So although I can get another motor, and they will be sending us another motor, they won't pay us for our, they won't pay us warranty on this. So obviously I'm gonna eat the cost because this is going back on Dez's rack to pull his motor back out, and he doesn't work for free. So I gotta pay Dez, which means I'm losing out. So if any mechanics out there, shop owners, you come across this Nissan, just pass on it. It ain't even worth dealing with these things. If you do have a customer or anybody that you know that has this car that's starting to have a head gasket issue, just, do them a favor and recommend that they just get rid of the vehicle altogether, because it's really not worth the time. So let me go over here and show you guys what's going on with this Nissan. All right, here it is. It came back in on a tow truck yesterday, and I'll just show you guys. Go ahead, fire it up, Des. This is the bought directly from Japan, 80,000 miles or less, directly from Japan motor. Look what we got. putting out all that smoke, and that was supposed to be an 80,000 mile low mileage unit directly from Japan. So, you know, that's why I'm always skeptical about these motors. It's probably a high mileage motor, they just threw some paint on it. But so anyway, there you have it. Stay away from these 2.5s. Just avoid them altogether. It's not even worth your time on them. If you have one with an issue like this, you're better off just getting another car and just getting rid of it. I don't know about newer Altimas, but ones of this year range. I believe it's like 01 to 05, somewhere in there. So, well, anyway, we're going to close down the shop and head over to a customer of mine who I befriended, so somewhat of a buddy slash customer who his car left from hoofing it, and we believe based on what he said, it could be an alternator problem. So we're going to start the car, and if the headlights get bright, we're going to throw an alternator in there. Just kidding. Anyway, this is Brian 916. Thanks for tuning in. Please hit the like and subscribe. We'll see you on the next one. Alright guys, surprise. Here I am out making a house call to a good customer of mine, and this old Suburban is I used to work on this motor for him, or I used to work on this Suburban for him, but he since then gave it to his son. So his son has it now, and it won't start, so we came out here to take a look at for him. And let me show you guys what we found. When we first turned on the key, all we could hear is like a loud bang sound, boom, boom, at the key. So it sounded like the starter and flywheel was engaging real hard. So as you can see, I got it jacked up and pulled the starter out to get a good look at the flywheel and the starter. So let me show you guys what we found. All right, let me show you guys what we got right here. I basically just jumped the starter off of my Jeep battery to see if the starter actually works, and looks like it does work. Let me show you guys real quick. Get the power on the power terminal, and then I want you to jump the S terminal. Looks like the motor portion of it does work, but I think there could be some mechanical damage. Take a look in here. You can see the teeth look broken a little bit, look gashed up on there. See, here's a closer look at it, man. Look at those gears, man. They look all gnawed off and everything. So it looks like it's just mechanical damage. It is his son's a young teenage boy who just got his driver's license. So I assume that the car was probably running and he tried to start it. Let's go take a look over here. Let me show you what it looks like underneath too. So here we are at the flywheel. Look at all the metal flakes up in there. I mean, you could really, I don't know how well, yeah, you can see that. Look at right up there in that corner. I mean, there's tons of just metal that's caked on, like, you know, old oil or whatever. And then you can see the gears on the flywheel too are chewed up. So we're gonna just try to get we're gonna put another starter motor in here and see what happens. All right, got our starter picked up. Getting back to the job. Getting this Suburban done. So here we are, back at my customer slash buddy's house. So we're gonna throw this starter in. Hopefully it works. Here we are up under the car. Got the starter mounted up. Nice and secure. Got my power wire hooked up. Got the S terminal wire hooked up. Got my heat shield on, protecting from the exhaust. So we know that there's some metal that got chewed up on the flywheel, and definitely the teeth on the old starter was hacked up. So we're gonna go and try to start it and see if hopefully he doesn't have to replace the flywheel. So let's go crank it up, see what happens. All right, I just got to get this upper portion of the fan shroud back on, because if you guys would have heard that banging noise that it made when we first started it. When we first tried to start it, I mean, it was a loud bang. So I took this off and rotated the motor by hand just to make sure there wasn't no mechanical binding. And so it wasn't. Everything rotated and everything just fine. So we'll get this shroud back on before we fire it up. All right, let's go start it. All right, let's fire it up. All right, so we tried to fire it up a minute ago. Nothing happened. So we found, looks like a 40 amp fuse, according to the diagram here, that's an ignition fuse. So we just swapped it with a lighting fuse for now, just to see if it starts. If it starts, then no big deal. We'll go and get another one. Likely this fuse probably blew from that bad starter, maybe shorted internally, and blew that fuse. So let's see if it cranks up and start. I think the battery is a little weak, so I threw the booster on there. Let's try it again. Alright, this thing's got some mechanical damage, huh? That's it. Done deal. Not chewed up another starter. Well guys, you heard what happened here. Looks like we weren't able to get by with just a starter. Likely we'll have to throw a flywheel in this thing, or worse, it may need a motor. You guys heard how bad it sounds. So anyway, thanks for watching. This is Brian 916. We'll see you on the next one.